Yo guys, what is up? It is Nathan here coming at you with story time. I'll be doing this weekly and I'll be telling different stories every time, of course, but if you've watched my live stream, you might have heard some of these before. I've had story time quite a bit on there, and some of the stories might repeat. I'm going to try to tell new ones, but I have so much stories to tell, so I figured I can do this, like Storytime Sunday. And if something really funny happened during the week, I'll definitely share that with you guys. So my first ever story time is going to be kind of a popular topic, and that was my first ever fight. Let's get this kind of cord out of here. So this kid, we're going to call Steve, and I'm going to give you a little background. 5th grade baseball championships. I knew, like, 5th grade. This kid was called for a strike when it was like in the dirt, and it was clearly a ball, but he threw his helmet on the ground, threw his bat, started yelling, got kicked out of the game. I was up next. His dad shoved me out of the way. He came on the field, started yelling. He got kicked out. They were both made to leave, otherwise our team was disqualified. And he was our only catcher, so he basically, like, this is our team, and that's just kind of what he did to us. So our chances of winning was almost zero because we had no other catcher. So we had to have this kid who's never caught before, and I was a pitcher for the first 5 innings, but I ran out of pitches. I actually had one of, like, a really good game. Got an MVP, no big deal. So this decent guy pitched, didn't have his best game. We were ahead 2-0, and this was the last inning, and then we allowed 4 runs, so we lost the game. It was tragic. They'd get like a single. The catcher couldn't catch, so the guy from first would get to third, single, and just kind of repeat. And luckily, we put in another pitcher. I think I don't remember exactly how it happened, but he ended up walking when bases were loaded, and that got the 3rd run. And then I think there was like a few walks in a row. So like 3 of the runs were just from walks. They get like a single and wild pitches. I can't really remember, but it was like 4 or 5-2. And then we had another at bat, but we did nothing. So the kid basically lost us a game. And I just want to kind of give that as a background because just to show you his temper. By the way, we ended up figuring out that the pitcher that pitched that whole game pitched like that whole playoffs, which was against the rules because there's like a limit of how many pitches or innings you can do. So we actually got the championship. I got MVP because I pitched like 5 of the innings, didn't allow a run or anything. Anyways, so it was about freshman year, and I'm like 6'2.5", 6'3", 215, 220 pounds, basically a teddy bear. I am not a fighter. I do not fight. I rarely get mad. If you watch my live streams, I'm just like easygoing guy. I like to think I'm funny. I like to think I'm entertaining. I rarely get mad. So this kid, Steve, let's call him, started just talking crap to me. I thought it was a joke at first, so I just kind of played it off. And he was just telling the whole bus, I was a pussy, all these things. And then he said that I asked him out. And for the record, I have no problem with, same-sex marriage, gay or lesbians. I have very close people to me that, are married, and it's a same-sex marriage, so I have no problem with it. But it just kind of like annoyed me. So his cousin lives 2 houses down away from me with the kid's grandma. And he lives like in a trailer park pretty close to my house. So we got off at the same stop, and I was just fed up, and I'm like, Steve, you got to stop saying this crap. And he's like, yeah, are you going to make me? And I was like walking away, because I started walking away, and he's like, I bet you won't, you bitch. And I remember in one motion, I like took off my bag, walked towards him, and I still remember the feeling of me hitting his jaw. It was like right there. Nice solid hit. And he had kind of like stood there and then just kind of like fell back. And so I got on top of him. I just like kind of held him. I'm like, who's a pussy now? Who's a pussy now? And I was just kind of yelling at him. His grandma came out of the house, started yelling, get off him, get off him. Started freaking out because his cousin went and got her. And so I got up off of him, and she's like, you need to stay here. We're going to have blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. So I started walking away and grabbing my bag and everything. All of a sudden, he came out of nowhere, tripped me, grabbed my head, threw it in the gravel, like banged my head in the gravel. So like I had a huge cut, like right here. I actually get stitches, because I mean my head was hitting like rocks and like the edge of the road and everything. So, so his grandma and his cousin, I think his dad came out and pulled him off, and so I went on my way. I went home. Luckily, my mom wasn't home yet, so I was able to clean up at least a little bit and then call her, and I said, we kind of need to go in. So, I got stitches, whatever. The next day, I was on the bus, and he was on it. And I'm going to recap this. I hit him. He fell. I was on top of him. I could have kept on hitting him. I could have made him, really do anything until his grandma came out. Then he tripped me when I was walking away, not even facing him, and then tackled me. If it was a fair fight, you wouldn't trip someone walking away from you, get on top of him, and then the next day he said, oh yeah, I kicked Nathan's ass, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you kidding me? And this kid was like 5'3", and freshman year I was 6 foot, pretty scrawny kid, but I had some beef on me. And it was just amazing the balls he had on him for like being so little. Like he just really didn't care. And it was crazy. And I was like, this kid means nothing to me. I'm not even going to worry about it. And my bus driver actually saw it. And she's like, I saw it, and I wish I could tell him actually what happened. I can't remember exactly what she said, but I remember her saying like she saw it and she knows what really happened or something like that. But it was pretty funny. So, short story short, if you ever get in a fight with someone, get it on video. Actually don't. It's kind of like illegal or something. Don't do it on school grounds. Just don't fight. Just don't fight. There's really no point. Nothing was really gained out of it. I mean, I guess he gained popularity on the bus full of people who I don't even talk to anymore. So, I mean, this is kind of like a separate thing, but if people are talking crap about you, just think. I'm out of high school now. I went to a high school with 2,000 people in it. I talked to probably 10 people from that school. 10 out of 2,000? That's like a percentage, really, really small. Out of those 10 people, out of those 1,990 people, a lot of them probably talk crap about me. But guess what? I don't talk to them anymore. If people are talking crap about you, just let it go. Don't let it get to you. But anyways, I was in a fight and I won. If he wouldn't have got a cheap shot on me, if his grandma wasn't there, I would have torn him apart. Just kidding. But I'm really not a fighter. Like you can see, I have no muscle really. I mean, I'm just a lover. So don't make me fight. I love all of you guys. Much love to every one of you. More stories to come every Sunday. Stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll start telling 2 or something. This one was kind of long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, I am Nathan. And until next time, stay awesome.